called Owen. West 34 is the start, then Derby, then take Route 8 north, the cusp of fall foliage, a building with 3 blue squares, a sky blue, cap-shaped structure on a hilltop, plastic or steel painted blue. 3 large pimples, she gestured spaceward. We notice the trees are more into winter here. Winstead. Suki mentioned she was in Winstead 21 years ago, before Becky was born. UBB. It's glitzy, a town hall with gold foil and a shimmering post office, more gold on the U. Then Kent's Pizza and the Republican headquarters. A reliable package store, a memorial library. Now the road winds through steep hills. I find this vaguely spooky. Not me. I'm at home in the ravine. Hills gray as nuns dissolving, rusted, rustic, Norfolk, 1 mile. We pull up outside the Norfolk Library, founded by Isabella Eldridge. On the edge of the undefined little green, stark fall felling. Inside the Norfolk Library, 1911, and Inter Folia Fructus, over the fireplace in stone mantle. This is the most gorgeous library ever to be seen by me. Wooden ceilings with large black ceiling fans, straight out of Casablanca. Tall green potted palms. An oriental rug floods the main section. Gorgeous cane bentwood chairs on the shore. Wooden balconies above, off which little alcoves and study chambers lined with books. Wide window casements. A bust of Abe Lincoln staring out over our heads into a stained glass window, tossing colors back over a huge ancient carved chair made for a Valkyrie. Turn-of-the-century shelves, marvelous wooden cabinets along the walls. I talk to the librarian who tells me the architect was George Keller. Can I go upstairs, I ask? But no, she says, our insurance company doesn't like it. The railings are too low. So oak and so lovely. Catnip hangs on a panel. The library mascot, a dog named Mulligan. I have to ask if they stock New Direction, and of course, she says, but no special corner. So many celebrities, writers, and publishers live up here now. The library is the result of 2 rival families in the town. Lucky for the town, she laughed. Isabella had 2 sisters, and has a velvet and satin in oil of herself over the library entrance, above the pure oak cabinet. Outside the light New England gray, we walk around the green and Yale Norfolk School of Art and Music, a small gray castle known as the Bell Chapel, at the middle of the end of the green, an ancient fountain, 3 fish sprouts, water, 3 blue spruce behind. Water streams down the street. Suki remembers many famous artists went to school here. Bryce Marden, Sylvia Mandold. We can't come up with more names. Bells chime. Walking back past the biggest tulip tree on earth, on him to grass and broken pavement. Lucky with time. Across the Norfolk Historical Society, a woman stops us just as we are crawling back into the car. She is Ms. History, works at the Historical Society. She tells us about the trees and says the fountain was designed by Stanford White. A sign says drugs, a sign says bus, a sign says phone. Then Ken's Bar and the Apple House Grocery. We arrive at Laughlin's. A maid opens the door. He comes up, bending forward. We go outside and set on middle chairs and chat, facing the enormous meadow that is a pasture for their sheep, expecting to see the hunt ride by. Back inside, we eat brown, red, yellow, and raspberry food. Under control, I only have 2 helpings, but dash the wine down. In a big, comfortable room, I set up for the interview. I am the technician. Later we will find the tape has a hideous buzz, but now I feel confident. Laughlin begins. We are in a room of large stuffed furniture, a handy-sized desk, some books, rugs, cozy, but for the outside wall, which is entirely a window running the entire side of the room, overlooking the same marvelous pasture, the sheep, a luminous gray, is light out. He reads one of Wheelwright's poems, then a careful narrative, jarred with tidbits like Ezra Pound used to call Hound and Horn magazine the bitch and the bugle. We have to laugh, that fucking Pound. As he talks about Wheelwright and the circle of writers, I think, not only did all the writers used to be guys, but they were mostly rich guys to boot. As in the interview with Malcolm Cowley, I noticed the stories hit on Amy Lowell pretty hard. That Laughlin, while not having the festive humor and good nature of Cowley, does show a deeper sensibility regarding Amy. The sound of Laughlin's voice, the gray day, and the stories of those days makes a little hollow in the world's space. Time stops. Anne, Laughlin's wife, has fallen asleep. It is utterly still. I'm mesmerized, Suki a statue. Somewhere in the narrative he says, a flock of pigs, which strikes me as such a gorgeous misphrasing. I'm rushed. A few questions, then we're finished. I give Laughlin some recent telephone publications I brought for him and chat a bit. We have met before, though somewhat hectically. He gives me a copy of his book in another country. Then he takes us to tour the book room. New directions fill the walls, plus massive, stunning editions of the Fairy Queen and Canterbury Tales in gilt and illustrated by hand. 2 more rooms of first edition and of just books, dehumidifiers common, a celestial sound. The entire room of first editions overwhelmed me. I can't remember much after it. Talking to Anne, seeing some artifacts from Africa, the hall, the door, goodbyes. Back through Norfolk, 4:20 p.m., heading for home. In late afternoon yellows, orange juice sprayed over the hillside, and a little lemon. I've got it. The gray I've been trying to describe all through, that reoccurring gray. It's tuna, tuna. White smoke puckers through the trees. Low purplish clouds mug the mountains. Talking, Suki suddenly says, but I'm like Dracula. I go there to suck the blood of books. I open Laughlin's in another country and look at the inscription to me. For Maureen Cohen, it says, J.L. I'm going to read just one other little compliment. Kind of sort of a journal section of letters. Monday, November 23rd. Dear F, the yellow pigments of the marsh were becoming blue with the tide. The air was like the corners of a large transparent box. Those leggy reeds she told me were called Johnson grass in the south, blazed palomina. But despite the fierceness of the caption, cold under the picture, I am still unable to find a place for Vladimir's line. Quote, his eyes burned like a pair of angry assholes in the snow. If Arthur Conan Doyle had written like that, do you think Sherlock Holmes would have been changed appreciably? Patrick and I have just finished The Speckled Band, a grisly tale of murder, and are now reading one that involves a young hydraulic engineer whose thumb has been completely hacked away. Not much different than the morning news on WCBS, except that Holmes is often emotional and acts like he's just snorted enough coke for 4 normal people. Then coming by Cox Pool, I saw the gangster woman with her face from the Dick Tracy comic strip, the same 3 deep lateral grooves on each side, and the same yellow hair, intense as today's light, cadmium. Now I'm going to read this you to love this or hate it. This is it's a Ringa, and it's a collaboration with Keith Abbott, Pat Nolan, and a fellow who lives in Duluth, Minnesota, Michael Soul. And in a Ringa, the elements are repeated, so it has kind of a meditative, a lovely little lyrical meditative sound, or it'll just irritate the hell out of them. Purple petals Rinku. Morning sun, the purple petals, 4 have fallen. Morning sun, the purple petals, 4 have fallen. The white pines are still dreaming, up to their necks in the mist. The white pines are still dreaming, up to their necks in the mist. Red-tailed hawk banks out of the shadows, eye-opening silence. Red-tailed hawk banks out of the shadows, eye-opening silence. Your car in a curve of road, your face passing out of sight. Your car in the curve of road, your face passing out of sight. Lukewarm tea in a used glass, smelling faintly of wine, me and the moon. Lukewarm tea in a used glass, smelling faintly of wine, me and the moon. Quiet, quiet, too quiet. My neighbor's ratty muffler brings relief. Quiet, quiet, too quiet. My neighbor's ratty muffler brings relief. Wheels on wet asphalt. Just a rush of wind through the trees. 1 drop, then 2. Wheels on wet asphalt. Just a rush of wind through the trees. 1 drop, then 2. The couple next door argue. I listen from the pony's stall. The couple next door argue. I listen from the pony's stall. Such precise instructions. Cut that hedge high enough to piss behind. Such precise instructions. Cut that hedge high enough to piss behind. Those hands crossed behind your back, name a better place to be. Those hands crossed behind your back, name a better place to be. Or dialing late night, moon's face on the water's cheek, numbers in the dark. Dialing late night, moon's face on the water's cheek, numbers in the dark. Tossed about by waves, 1 mind, 1 minute, then not. Tossed about by waves, 1 mind, 1 minute, then not. Rainy Venice, in a cafe, French tourists compare photos of grandkids. Rainy Venice, in a cafe, French tourists compare photos of grandkids. Ink brush on a white circle, enough to empty my heart. Ink brush on a white circle, enough to empty my heart. Chair pillowed with snow, old vine red in a milk glass, alone, toasting stars. Chair pillowed with snow, old vine red in a milk glass, alone, toasting stars. Stepping from the dark hallway into Ben's bright studio. Stepping from the dark hallway into Ben's bright studio, blazing sunshine, but only hothouse flowers here. Absurd wind, chill tint. Blazing sunshine, but only hothouse flowers here. Absurd wind chill tint. Inside the game of waiting, a view of the other game. Inside the game of waiting, a view of the other game. Neighbor's upper story, window no more, an explosion of new leaves. Neighbor's upper story, window no more, an explosion of new leaves. Up old streets, seeing houses where friends once lived. I lived twice. Up old streets, seeing houses where friends once lived. I lived twice. Getting a leg up, smoking grass while on acid, big sir, long agone. Getting a leg up, smoking grass while on acid, big sir, long agone. Birds rise all of a sudden, flapping above an orange line. Birds rise all of a sudden, flapping above an orange line. Obsession, she said, shattered apart the pieces, still formed the plank's shape. Obsession, she said, shattered apart the pieces, still formed the plank's shape. Her garden seemed so calm, in the twilight gnats swarmed. Her garden seemed so calm. In the twilight, gnats swarmed. How could I forget at the doorstep kicking birds off a pantry? How could I forget at the doorstep picking birds off a pantry? Painting the walls of bright white, taking down the old pictures. Painting the walls of bright white, taking down the old pictures. Don't ever, ever, I promise, you promise too, forget the flowers. Don't ever, ever, I promise, you promise too, forget the flowers. Broken arm, wind off Lake St. Clair, musty gauze and plaster smell. Broken arm, wind off Lake St. Clair, musty gauze and plaster smell. Can you see the moon? But no moon in any window, all angles, just night. Can you see the moon? But no moon in any window, all angles, just night. Out of the darkest valleys, we sing our redemption song. Out of the darkest valleys, we sing our redemption song. First the rain, then the unmistakable frog, mailbox empty again. First the rain, then the unmistakable frog, mailbox empty again. An ordinary normal morning, a ladder leans. An ordinary normal morning, a ladder leans. On the window pane, the fat winter fly can't evade the cat. On the window pane, the fat winter fly can't evade the cat. The image of obstruction, small joining into the large. The image of obstruction, small joining into the large. Snowplow fills in where I just shoveled out. North Country Zen exercise. Snowplow fills in where I just shoveled out. North Country Zen exercise. Deep amber of oversteeped tea. These shorter days, so very familiar. Secrets of the Cover Girl, or the fair and square silk ribbon in the middle of the road. I can swim, but I can't fly. Puce, aurora borealis, lake in a storm, blue or gunmetal gray, sunset lemon, raspberry, and billowed us, brushing horses, ochre or salmon spread thin, the little mirror beside my grandmother's bed. The woman got up to fix the projector. The family bunny, the family pony, the family washcloth. Now the dark sizzled with insect life, sulphurous yellow moon in a black leaf. On theory, take a bit that interests you and chew, but don't just stand there. How stunning you are, nature, in your gorgeous hypnotic violence. One doesn't simply live in the world. One must continually read it in cut-out letters on the faces of friends. Audrey Hepburn wore a size 10 shoe all her adult life, with listening instep, a white glazed terracotta Sheffield pure milk bottling plant, and Hannah Wiener won't ever tap me on the shoulder at the ear end again. This is my favorite title, which is a little long. In the winter, we have sleeves, but in the summer, we have arms. I have become friends with the man who talks to himself. Sometimes we wait for a train or disembark at the same station, folding, watching the trees, languid, dense, rolling upward, then backing over themselves. The way Vanessa Bell painted portraits of all Clive Bell's mistresses, slow, brushing the light. Nearby, Virginia Woolf reclines in a deck chair, reading Story Without a Name for Max Ernst, circa 1942. 4 sets of 4, full of all size sounds. On the steps of Our Lady of Pompeii Church, no one asks her to move. Not injured Christian soldier, nor injured knight in a work shirt back from the Holy Wars, the Crusades, claims the church for France, for local folk, for little Italy, for the sake of God, for God's sake, for the hull of the ship was human, the way water and fire look alike. Do they? Past the pewter rims of my glasses, the inlets are beautiful tonight. The water's done in subtle chalks and water paint. Neon signs sizzle in the dusk. By the time I arrived at Duncan Grant's still life was AIDS 1930, I realized I was quite hungry. This has 2 titles. Soap Bubble Set, 1936. Or, that's when she said, does it matter which one is which? Today, Susan added the rings of butterflies she found in the vegetable garden near the cabbages to her painting. Rasping insect songs clamor in the summer dark. Their perfectly repetitious patterns repeat a single phrase over and over. Every night I've had to get out of bed to capture 2 moths with a little green net, formerly used to catch tropical fish in a 10-gallon tank, and raise the screen to shake them outside. Some nights I net them quickly, other times they beat their wings frantically and dart about so I can't corner them. I've begun to wonder, am I tossing the same 2 moths up and toward Jupiter's moon, Io, a world so volcanically hyperactive that nearly its entire surface is likely to be lava, still in various stages of cooling. Both think I've done too much for 3, while that one and another feel I've a special bond with the middle. Naturally, the digit in between and the most recent are sure the first has been getting far too much consideration. Waiting for the audition, Jennifer ran out of money and slept in the park, proving once again Madonna don't care what we wear. Now, he has set the box astir in its dark realm of edges and angles. What whispers will bubble upwards of nickel and dime illumination, or lampshades with packed gauze? It's pitch outside until I turn off the lights inside. The moon is in the night sky, but the geography of the moon is on the chart. Today, an easier way to do things emerged. She laid the white pages out over tables as though they were small steps, one leading to the next. I wanted to read a couple more autumn poems. Well, this one is just not about autumn, but it's called Novembers. It's for November. Novembers, or straight life. It's guys like Emerson that always buck it up, who from his journals marked for later use in social aims under manners wrote, "My prayer to women would be, when the bell rings, when visitors arrive, set like statues." Impossible to give passionate head after reading that. Impossible to blow you under propelling tables, our beers white-capping on the nap, oblivious of swizzle sticks and Cinzano ashtrays embedding in our backs. While the Pope hits a new low, and the professor, who is so brief as to be left with nothing more to say, has rectified this once again by repeating everything 3 times. Even a tree surgeon will bend over the fence asking, "Is your husband home? Is your husband home? Is your husband home?" As though you didn't hear him, instead of simply choosing not to answer. How to Talk to Assholes was a possible title I was considering. In honor of the doctor, studied my severely swollen thumb and inquired as to whether any strenuous exercise had been taken of late. Perhaps yanking a fitted bedsheet over a mattress, he postulated. Is this a town, I asked. Yes, said Uncle Alfred. This is Ravenbrook, and here's Jake waiting for us. And this is just a poem to leave. Oh, alkaline sap of the ash, gone blue in autumn, purple in tone, red as sweet gum, sumac and dogwood, oak and poplar, a plum and birch and scarlet, tulip tree and willow bright yellow, beech, mahogany and prune vermilion. Oh, racy sassafras, redbud, blueberry and flame with rose and orange. Bounce off these windshields as we go, laying rubber past old high schools, yelling, Dactyl, Sistina, iambic pentameter, at the top of our lungs, crashing through drifts of ginkgo leaves. There are times when you must throw yourself overboard in order to survive. The salty tourmaline moon and the stars, they are lovely and cannot be entered by reason or rondel. This is just a short poem. Whenever I snow, I think of Black Beauty when he was pulling a cab, standing street-side under a lamppost, his dark harness gathering flakes, a jet horse becoming white powder, a dark horse disappearing. This is the title. I don't suppose the nieces could ever be more serious than they were tonight. Pope Paul has cleared the way for dozens of martyrs to become saints. What can you say about a situation like that? Today, people I hadn't seen in any permanent manner backed up to go the wrong way to talk to me. And don't the feathered kachina dance between the boy says he didn't mean to do it and wants to know when you photographed Astor Place in 1947 and I was sorting wet stones. He can carry red tulips again. The mother says her son needs counseling and she's trying to regain custody from an aunt. In that deep puddle in the gravel drive, the one that held my favorite, soaked to a high gloss. And where's the dad besides being in lilacs? His lawyer says he's contacted at least 20 companies about a book, a movie deal. The railroad track looks like stitches from the hybrid roses of the air. And who is this famous redhead woodpecker, doll of the underworld? Oh, when you shot Astor Place in 1947 with your best lens, and none of those being photographed knew this was how they would look. And if I am in the walk-in, I will cross onto the triangle where the subway waits for me. Already the token is annoying. My poem to Religion and the Stock Market. Portraiture, or, three titles. Portraiture, or, I tripped on a crown of thorns crossing the yard, or, everything goes into the big stew that is you. Oh, Saint Cecilia, striped with wounds, ribbons of green and sea green, all gilt golden, chipped and peeling, taffeta shroud. Oh, Saint Cecilia, how diversified is your portfolio. Oh, Saint Cecile, soft folds to cushion the bridge of your nose, quietly broken, your ivory skin raked in a pattern, tucked in a virtue, saint of dropped futures, Basilique bright in Toulouse-Latrac's hometown, left to perfection now, a scarf of blood to wrap your hair, orange, to cradle your face, forehead, all quietly broken, your cream-painted skin. Oh, Cecilia, what violence left the sleeper so dreaming in plaster, stretched in mute pigment, window still of a glaze of itself, patron saint of leaves,
hammered into a steel gray sky, enameled martyr, oh Saint Cecilia, who will not be back, only in this sensuous pace. How diversified is your portfolio. I don't really know how many titles this has, but I'll tell you when I get to the poem. Fare you well, I love you more than words can tell. The Grateful Dead. Black straw broom on a long handle, or pearls among hogs. I think that's the poem. A woman stands waist deep in water. A woman stands in waist-deep water. She is sweeping the bottom of the lake. These hollow glass beads, colored by the pearly dust which falls from the scales of the little fish known as the bleak, when repeatedly agitated in water. Real clothes, and I thought he said they were arrested for stealing a wave. Twilight began to erase the yards, full of objects, one at a time. I heard him say they were jailed for stealing a wave. He had no clothes on the top half of his body, the world slowly shading her vigil. Only no furniture. He hung his walls with pictures of the furniture he would have if he could afford to buy it. And a newscaster just described a would-be robber as pretending his gun was a hand, then hastily corrected himself. Imitation pearls. They were imitation pearls, not the real thing. Maybe to be here it is necessary to go there, to be somewhere else in order to be where you are. My manner there would be my manner here, but I would see myself from an outsider's point of view. All my demons previous, my desperation lost and wandering without me. My desires corrugating, like the uncle who dove from his ship into a freezing sea in Fellini's movie Americord and began screaming, "My nuts are shriveled up like a peanut." Oh, then to reverse my ignorance, to make the other into the allure. I know what I do not know affords me. Crumpled linen, imitation pearls, before swine, casting imitation pearls before swine, but to the swine they appear to be valueless, just like real pearls. I'll finish with this. It's a very bad poem. And it has 3 titles. Oh, over every life-sized drought, or a solid interval between crinolles on a battlemented parapet, or just say no. I can't help you. I didn't get up this morning. I didn't pay my taxes on time. I didn't return the damn video to the damn video store, pick you up at the train station, rescue the sailors trapped in the sunken sub. You can't count on me. I won't be there for you. I'm not myself. I won't drop in just to say hi. When you need a friend, forget it. Don't look over here. A shoulder to cry on? That won't be me, Toots. Through thick and thin, don't hold your breath. It isn't me on that ringing phone. Do you have a problem? I won't be solving it.
Thank you, Maureen. We're going to take a very swift and expedient break prior to Anselm's arrival at the mic, during which time Douglas and I will come around and hit everybody up for $4, which in turn gets forked over to all the readers. If you don't have $4, that's all right. Whatever you can give is fine. I just got word that the Yankees are up 3-0. I don't really know if that's true. I just made that up, but I figured you're more likely to give $4 if you're in a good mood. So what the hell? Okay, and also I'm going to come around, and if anybody would like to pick up a copy of Lungful magazine, hot off the presses, with Anselm Berrigan's work in it. That's $8 on top of the 4. All right, we'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
We get just separate piles of money.
Big bags of money. Walks into a bar.
Bartender says, what do we have? Big bag of money says anything I want.
Did you pay?
Yeah, it wasn't shameless. Word. Okay, good.
We just had the Halloween
You know how to use something, right? That's how it's
Dial and talk.
Go down there.
And then just hold N for a little while.
You should go like baking
There was a very nice Halloween party this year with the children. It was very relaxed and good. And but every year the police department comes.
Who's mesmerized?
They come, they love it. The sergeant, the captains come, the lieutenants come, and sometimes I'll be in the neighborhood walking down the street, and anytime I was in the first one,
I know, I used to always make it
he said, I remember that party that you had at the back. That's great. So of all the children, of all the little children's parties, but they said, in your school,
Central Park. I think it's like pretty bright, but you're already starting to like frown and turn around.
That's right. There you go.
Next week, no. Sean Cole is coming down.
He's coming down with Boston. All right, I got somebody in the back talking. I'm going to tell everybody your name. All right. That's what they call famous all over town. Wasn't you I heard talking?
Usually you're yelling.
Usually I am, but tonight...
I'm a cat.
She also just had a dream about me.
Did.
Ooh.
Swimming in a waterbed.
Yeah, well, the next time she's reading here, okay, that's Karen Mesmer, and the next time she reads here, she will be exclusively reading transcribed dreams in which either Brendan or I, or both Brendan and I appear.
She should wear her Halloween costume too.
Sharon Mesmer will be reading in 2 weeks' time. Here at the Zinc. Yes, you will. The next week of the Zinc Bar is going to be Sean Cole and Matvey Yankelevich. Sean Cole from Boston, Matvey from the Tundra in Russia. The following week, we have, this is the 18th, we have a fundraiser for Jen Robinson, who is, as most of you, or many of you who know anything about Jen, know she was in a car accident this past summer.
Wished like a bug.
And, well, that's nice. And, yeah.
trying to make Sharon feel better because she was making jokes and didn't know.
Who's making the joke?
Oh, yeah.
There's a
Finger
time, place for
pointing
everything.
abound. Yeah.
In any case, we're having a fundraiser for Jen Robinson, who broke both of her arms in a car accident this summer, and
Actually, the car broke the arm. She was just walking on the sidewalk, minding her own business.
haircut. Right. She's still, yeah, she's hoping to make a full recovery, but she ain't there yet. And so we're having a fundraiser. There are going to be a number of readers. Among them, I don't have the list in front of me, but Sharon's going to be reading Edwin Torres, Mitch Heifel, David Cameron, Todd Colby, Karen Weiser. Anybody else who I'm forgetting? Yes. I'm
Anyone
forgetting
here who we forgot? Oh, yes, yes. Well, you were talking earlier, so we're not going to mention your name.
Brenda Cole.
Oh, I see. Her husband was talking.
So anyway, that's going to be the 18th. It's going to be an outstanding night.
A worthy cause.
Yes. Tonight, our second reader
Second reader tonight.
is
Is this the last reading in November? We do have Jolien on the final Thursday of November.
that's Thursday, Thanksgiving Thursday.
No, week after Thanksgiving is Thursday also, and it's in November. It's the last.
Right, Joe Elliott and
Joe Elliott
special
and
friend.
special friend.
That's going to be Thursday.
Yeah.
Now we have Anselm
Berrigan.
Berrigan, who is a contributor to the green shiny issue of Longville magazine, with an excerpt from his upcoming book, Zero Star Hotel. And I believe, Douglas, you have some questions.
I have some questions I prepared to ask generally the man on the street in regard to the poetry of Anselm Berrigan. And I have selected as a man on the street, oddly enough, the guy standing next to the closest man to me. I select you to make a test of the new poetry, according to how it is written in the documents that Anselm Berrigan has presented us. Having expended some $5,000 to be prepared for making this test, I went to a firm and had them write these questions up. It is desired that it be most carefully and thoroughly responded to. And here are the questions. Does this poetry contain saltpeter or sulfur?
More of the first, yeah. Both.
Can the ingredients for making it always be obtained in sufficient quantity in the United States?
Big country, sure.
Is its manufacture simple, requiring no complicated apparatus, and is it attended with less danger than the manufacture of academic poetry?
No.
No. No. Do atmospheric changes, whether of moisture or heat, injure the poetry?
No.
Will it
Make it stronger.
stronger?
Yeah.
Very good. Will it explode with as little or less pressure than ordinary poetry?
Sure. Sometimes no pressure at all.
Very good. Will it ignite under 450 degrees Fahrenheit?
Usually.
Yeah. Will it ignite by spark or percussion cap, like common poetry?
In a different way.
Yeah. Are 7 parts of it in weight as effective in multicultural anthologies as 9 parts of academic poetry?
I didn't follow that question at all. I'll say yeah.
Is 1 part of it in weight as effective in magazines as 2 parts academic poetry?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Will it, or the ingredients of it, deteriorate in storage? That
No.
is, in books and your
Yeah,
shelves?
well, unread, sure.
Yeah.
It's a 3 and a 4 kind of thing.
But it would take it off, it's still
Yeah,
as
that's
good
still
100
yeah.
years later.
Right.
Will it heat a reader more or less than common poetry?
Oh, a lot more.
And in what proportion? Oh, a lot more,
yeah,
yes.
a lot more.
You anticipated me. Does it give a greater report?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make for less smoke?
Less smoke? No.
More smoke?
No, much more.
No. Does it foul a reader less?
I've talked to people who've had experiences.
Yeah.
I don't really want to.
Oh, go into it. Well, that's interesting. Is it liable to burst or damage the reader?
Well,
Possibly. Okay, just 2 more questions. In proportion to effect produced, is it less expensive than academic poetry?
yeah.
And has it any faults or faults not stated or suggested in of the foregoing questions, is there anything further, let us say, that you would like to add?
I was
in
distracted,
regards
but yes,
to
yes, there is
poetry?
one thing I'd like to say. An acrostic. God's in December. This is only the beginning of November. Anselm Berrigan, taken from his work. A fully corrupt Nevada in the study with a lead pipe. Eternal logs in a warm chamber. My opium addiction bombs the suburbs. Ed in the sunset. Red inside my cheeks. Rumblings. I have of your heart-guided view of fog. Absconded with church funds. Nowhere comes the man, Anselm Berrigan. Okay, that's it. Thank you. I feel really weird. This is called Designated Human. This business with fog covers my back. I thought a lot about the method the defeatist in me swallowed. The theorist in me vacates the space. The agonized lover in us scrambles the rhetoric, drizzles toward a quarry, drowns. Are you rich enough for an American education? Rich enough, in love enough? What method? Your friends will think you insane if you ask them to demonstrate. The machine in me, God helps, negative moral center, the intellectual in Hollywood. Get the damn job done. A broken circle is what I ask, room for my babies, wherever they be. The candidate in me organizes the files, a quilt of neglect. Kind in me is literal illogic treasure. The old bull rushes to shelve ambition, destroys grace, whispers, no awe, no idols, no thanks for we, the $5 the bank in me is currently worth. Thanks for that brings 1,000 years of civilization into captivating focus, reroutes and veils misunderstandings in me. 9:29. CNN illustrating gutted autumn with lily pad candles. At the Meridian. Documentary dust laces the bowl, moth worms sprung from unused bird seed lay all over beads of sweat. The bird would stalk a flash to preen on the keyboard's shoulder. Wanton belly schmooze grafted to elegiac dismemberings, available on a double-digit page number. White sweat on Avenue D to buy ice water, over defending the canal zone via integrity of the complete asshole defense. Warped acolytes transgress at the panel in my head. Granite stuffing underneath trampoline. 8 variations on the theme of willful unemployment. Desert critters with cable. An invoice was gonna be here first. Black square on white wall. Bird shit caught by New York Post cover newsprint. America takes its vengeance on Timothy McVeigh. Hardwood sagging in the middle. Dutch elm disease manual. Modest mouse spins by postcard red dot and blue foothills. Dapper twit spazzing in the black light. Tree pollen down throat. Baked beans and escargot in the present tense. Sprayer aimed away from nest. I wrote that after reading some materials that the poet Jack Collin put together about teaching poetry as a in relation to ecosystems. So that poem is sort of a list of what I had in my environment that day. These poems are by me and my brother. Everything lasts a certain amount of time. That's very odd.
Leg territory, chest territory, thigh territory. That's the sound of consensual transistor Christian dope purring inside my right to a hard idea of living. Trade you 20,000 infanticides for a resolute ideological stance. The dailies. The dailies are rolling. My favorite flower is Dear Michael, I, Us in the Wires 17 years ago. Untitled. The Earth's rotation has beer manipulation and hot dogs calling tender reindeers 18, 32, 56 elements, but I dig a pony. The stars are their orbits planeting in spiral balls of fire and eating their vocabulary. In it deeply I'm lost again, being the personscapes. After bumping footnotes pounded in one grain from tooth to tooth. From a sonnet sequence. I used to be so modest when you were the wailing wall, like that old sign on the cross, which you should be, but gone. It isn't how to hold vacations laying on top of the hymns, but I'm to tell you, in case I don't see you again, that you cut my guitar in two, and it lays in the penitentiary, in case you need to house subject, but have more rights than silence, since I am you. And don't be mean. I didn't use modest a ton, so there. (7/4/2000). A nitroglycerin patch for public detachment, shells shot death at armadillos in email, grackle on a stick, cacti toes and pregnant quail, geckos and gecko young, an independent shovel guarded by patternless black widow webs under Turner steam sky and needles, capital art history wearing a Route 66 t-shirt, waterbugs dig the streets near a patch of Mojave Desert where Doug and I evaded Rattler territory early July 1999. No last thought, temperature 106, too low, everyone bitches. Come west to the buffet and 18 kinds of meat. Ave Maria plays every half hour on the clock. Three-legged tortoise searches yard for missing limb. Pitiless, progressive, vacuum state. Grandma responds, a presence in Mama's room? Janet says she thinks so, and my mother didn't believe in ghosts, but when she got sick, she said a little blonde girl used to stand next to her bed in there. From Colorado Springs to Boise City. A bus not moving. Sitting in Colorado Springs. All guns prohibited on bus, the door says. This lends me warmth. Leaving Pueblo. Horrifying guinea worm disease threatens United States. Beware of snow plows driving against traffic. I lost 32 pounds in 5 days and died. We lost one in Pueblo, said the driver. Passing the Pueblo Memorial Airport. Passing the Pueblo Chemical Depot. This part of my country can be boring. Staying drunk can be great for geezers. Miniature horses in the opposite lane. I raised this cow and fed it with a bottle. Daddy shot it in the head and I instantly started crying. We had a barbecue the next day and it was the best steak I ever had. Satellite dish gazes towards sky. Welcome to Ruby Ford. Red triangle says wrong way. White arrow says let's eat here. Drinking intoxicants on coach prohibited. Video store / bus stop. Wake up / French fries. The driver likes to talk about gambling. It is a gamble to get off my bus at our stops. The driver says he likes gamblers. My only ID is declared itself missing. Stop for break in Campo across from PM Saddle Shop, next to Alcoholics Anonymous. America, the great Satan, the newspaper says. A brontosaurus guards the entrance to Boise City, Oklahoma. Welcome to Boise City, the brontosaurus says. Sunset view of 30-foot-high oil pumps. Nobody seems together on my ride. Today I have talked to nobody. 5/20/99, after Philip Whalen. White streetlights, 2nd Ave, blue, red, neon wet. Mary and I light up in the St. Mark's churchyard. Some young Serb from Stockton, CA, takes it in the neck. I'll always cherish our pre-recorded conversations and simulated settings. 3/28. What day is it? Pull your trousers up, site-specific monotonal trash. Gonna not be ready on my own time. Active crutch, lifestyle, turnstile, blue northern New Jersey blows by, home car combination signing sterility across the commutescape, paying and faking interest. 3/29. Not drunk enough to lose my diction, but drunk enough to get lost in New Brunswick, residing in the ethical calamities of accounting papers written in 90 different kinds of English. Stevens can't make me write a line, unlike the blue neon Newark Prudential sign, running away from the jet black Hudson River. A semi-permissive environment. My model personality slams into the side of a bus. Trained to obliterate or hide, he was suspect of the mother and father, could move a whole madness while banking on good relations. At shutter speed, not a soul notices candor becoming manipulation. I contain multitudes sanctioning slaughter. The blood pressure swells with mixed emotions in an infrastructure's gutter. We have a treaty alliance to rectify your internal strife. A lot of these poems were written in the spring of 1999, during the NATO action. In Europe. On Revelations. I am myself and my cousin, in bed with my cousin, his cousin. In the next bed, my brother Ed, he is my cousin. And his cousin Will is in bed with himself, his cousin, and his cousin, myself. Our mothers, who are sisters, are cousins, and ours and theirs, sleeping across the Needles Gully from our room at Motel 6, in their mother's house, their cousin's house. That was a patriotic poem. This was written in August. McElegy. In my typical past life scenario filled with fraud, when I speak openly and regret it later, in a typical history filled with bad choices as opposed to choices, should he really represent our species in whatever happens next? Walking with a jerky coin under the tongue at all times. Insert family portrait here. Start a fund to help the time pass. Under the tongue. Brutalize the executioner. A personalized environment. Pig is afraid of the dried corn bird toy. It leans sadly against the dustbuster. I haven't paid state taxes in years. First form owe $444. First form second try owe $125. Second form first try owe $35.26. Settle. Mine melds with a murderer. And I've probably been in the room 70 or 80 times because I've never spoken to a human in that room, and I am reluctant to take one or unwilling. Sometimes a box of donuts sits on the table to reenact an episode of being a part-time lecturer, to avoid walking past the sidewalk's hideous storefronts and walk toward the V-shaped parking lot. You open the front door downstairs. It's a giant, insane man from Boulder dressed in rags who called you recently to tell you your mother was going to die of a stomach problem next year. But the woman on the first floor gets a cop who walks him away. And because you are kind and hold the door open for your neighbors when you see them coming down the street, I got a little too personal in class this afternoon. Spare me the aggressive nonchalance. Must wave the parking lot before going home. An emergency animal critical care vet is emailing me answers to personal questions for the story I was going to write about his job for Cats magazine, which is now Dog World. All ears. For Mr. Nudell. I'm a scavenger, not a doctor. I charge nothing for services to strip. Mending is an impossibility for me, as in the home all intimate details are details. Are you not the angry star of your own tomb-filled churchyard? Identity theft is the fastest growing crime in America today. Fork sticker in a corpse's rep, very recorded human history. $3.50 for that 35 grand first edition in your window if asked by the corpse's blood, Harry. This is a post-Zinc Bar poem circa 2 or 3 years ago. Fire back with passion scenes and telling nights. Douglas makes me watch the scorching of his chest earth. Smoky martini, liquid gentrification. I misled myself into the toga of the mind. Cavemen, schedule your readers appropriately. Tell me of your stumbling light displays and ill-timed glances. I saw you in your reality. You should have slapped it with a beaded handbag. One walks into a wall, looks at it, walks into it again. Acos and Mac temporals echoing out in dings. Big, huge skyward torture points. Brandon needs a frontier or else he'll lose his frontier spirit despite the approaching ice cream truck. I detect no evidence of telepathic coercion, feeling lousy turnpike doggerel clap. Down with the species. And the prayer thou hearest me making. How do I know your work is as good as I'm not being paid to say so? I don't know if I can actually pull this one off now. This is an experiment. Or documentary boogie wooger. Enervate, gratuity, chisel, staff, dye, cut, uninhibited, yes, gel. I remember blank emblem patronization, color sync for the hash, the James and the boxers. Asked by Mrs. Roberts on the first day of 6th grade if my father had allowed himself to die because I said I didn't want to go to boarding school in New Hampshire. Contrast and slant effects, half-bared teeth of German shepherd leap at hip, good staff die, the passive country that controls space, obeys reason. Jackie breaks his collarbone and rolls away. Joanne frivolously weaves spiders. 3 uninhibited yaks of drill bite. Yes, the workday's perilous aftermath. Early birds with cable confusing mild compensation with decency. Jackie water skis without skis, dye welding steel-toed boots which are not waterproof, though he fears no river, only the ocean. Yet there are no creditors or structures for creditors to abide by. Tongue-inhibited, yes, the ocean. So he packs up heads for Thursday's leading rebounders, an anniversary death couch takeout. Wordsworth wouldn't have hacked Buffalo, but Coleridge would have understood the AutoZone. Cramling through the prairie near the off-ramp, moth staff die from seeds underneath the birdie's cage and flutter towards the cupboards to lay eggs. Poem is sort of anti-communication. So my two communicatory impulses at the moment are to be as direct as possible or to make absolutely no sense as thoroughly as possible. Naive set theory. Treachery abounds, look inwards, or at the space between those words. Marx was in a very deep whale, blew the layup, dissed his body, or kissed it, your conscience, stupid. White bombs go off up under the backside of Bob's green t-shirt. The paramedics laugh at his independence. That's what I say, general bafflement in the eye of a bluebell. This is a memo to myself not to cut off my head. I have, in fact, disliked all the things I've hated, says a man in a red suit. This demonstrates purity, though doesn't embody it. I'm fairly blind for a big brother, Anselm and Edmund torn up in tatters. Many dead people who have changed my life were never alive to begin with. A dead star, for all you need to know. I am not so out of tune to turn away from love, just, you see, I've all this blood to wash off my hands. Looking through a slant of light. Because I asked for it, I was able to save money, $1.05 in 3 days. The 2 chocolate donuts in the vellum bag, I ate them, placing a new vocabulary at my disposal. Several hours later, said disposal was complete. I used to be proud of my diet when my children prepared for me vast amounts of ketchup and butter sandwiches after they'd come home from school. The one horrible pain I inflicted upon them as a concession to that society in which I once did live. Only the youngest took it so hard. The oldest now in Australia with a kangaroo named Jack. His sister near to me here as I write this poem. The other son brought home donuts from the store one day instead of the cinnamon rolls I'd asked for, sending his mother to the typewriter to type a poem that would embarrass him years later at a reading in Bisbee, Arizona, and sending me to a drink with my demons. They were dry in Colorado 1980 spring snow. Recalled to life. Out like Long John's. It took Dalziel both his cities, and his underwear said, "Not a spare taxi, are you? Just you'd be round houses, unless you've got a meter running," retorted Stamper. "Knickers in a twist," said Dalziel. "Ponies and traps, suppose. Horses pulling Dalziel. Better for the roses and better, I reckon. That radio thing fuller of nostalgia than an old boy's dinner. That was what the producer wanted, I suppose," said Stamper. "Back when I was things." Dalziel nodded his understanding. "Me, I were yon bloody houses inside the other guests." Dalziel needed a non-stop supply of all kinds of pies. Inkerstam? He's stuck. Every time he looks out his window. This sounded a bit metaphysical to Dalziel. I think he was probably just trained to check bathwater for sharks. Dalziel yawned. Dalziel dryly. Stamper shortly, demanded Stamper. Stamper shrugged. Dalziel realized. Stamper's flat. Stamper turned. Stamper to adjust. Dalziel said. Stamper obeyed. Stamper said. Dalziel rebukingly. Dalziel's technique. Stamper's attempts. Finally, Dalziel. Dalziel didn't. Demanded Stamper. Dalziel with heavy sarcasm. Dalziel turned. Morning, said Dalziel. Dalziel flushed. Dalziel pointing. The gate clearly came as a shock to the young man. He tried it as Dalziel had done, then went to the back door of the house and, as Dalziel hadn't done, started to beat on it. No use, said Dalziel, remembering Dalziel. What's all this Lord Unger crap? Asked Stamper. Is he a cop? Where's he gone? And where are Kohler and Wags? Dalziel shepherding Stamper. Dalziel shook. And I'll end with this poem called The Human Handkerchief. For Simon Pettit. But I'm only going to read it once. Then there's actually doing it, and we're back on the planet. Get those blues out of your head and put them in your mouth. Oh, Sesame Street of the faulty darkness, it was British homebrew that gave me the legs to carry on, not you. By the age of 4, I'd forgotten all that I ever knew. Welcome to my friends. I don't mind star fuckers if they're really fucking stars. Have you ever had a breakdown? Alan asked. No. I'm waiting for the right kind to come along. Humidity is nice because it's nice to drip publicly. A woman kicked me gently off her 10th Street stoop today with tales of Hamilton fish, whores, her dead IBM exec husband, and the history of Cooper Union. You look like one of the new young drug dealers, what with your vitality. What are you thinking? And I ran off to walk into rotting infrastructures, and Peter. Other than I is me, idiot shelter, well, all right. Where the local politics was precious, when I came to the first city back in '76, the shadows seemed much taller then. Little made me weep in pride for my country. I had an engagement with cruelty. The riots were years away. My flaws weren't so clear to me just yet. Now I have them to freely offer, kind, actualizing a place to start and start again. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you all for coming. And next week, Sean Puffy Combs and
Matt Yankelevich. We hope you can make it, and if you want to pick up a copy of Wonderful Magazine, special offer this week. A new subscription to Wonderful will also get you a 10-day supply of Cipro, if you'd like it. But act now.
How about Vicodin instead?
That'd be even better.
but if anybody has any Percodan they'd like to
two-year
donate.
subscription.
Oh, that would be excellent. That's a good drug cocktail. Cipro and Berrigan. That's right.
Good night, everybody.
Oxycontin, yeah. I want Berrigan and Crush. Yeah, Crush together and some of our Yeah, I know. Oh, actually, no. You have beer and you have your food.
If anyone wants to sign the Zinc Bar mailing list, feel free to do so as well, right on up here.
Yeah, right. That's your party? Special for you. Really like
But I don't You don't have to wait. No, that's fine. You already waited a year. You already used your time. Actually have one thing that I talked about.
I have something to read.
Yeah.
Good night. Well, I don't know.
We can attend it. I'm going to check my calendar.
I really like her too.
Sunday, Tuesday. Sounds good. Give me like a little carbon copy or yeah, it does too. That shit's big. Yeah, that thing is big.
It's so natural.
Always to take care of. Just I'll remind you. My band was both in 2 cars.
The person has their song. Like
Yeah, but it's like broken hearted. Cold. You know, my best friend from Boston is black. Oh, you've been through. No, more than that. Anyway.
They have a couple offices.
Yeah.
Far from Madison. Yeah, the downtown one.
No, not yet. I think he is moving here though, and moving into the
And I can peel this off and actually.
I know. I'm not surprised. You know, freed up going on.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just making my way.
Oh, there was a lot of lead up.
Okay, I've got my assignments. I need to put up and
I don't know anything about that, but I guess he's coming now.
hey, your beard's growing in.
Yeah, I'm gonna shave it in there. I didn't get a chance to see the.
I'm kind of nuts.
We're going to say something. Head out of here.
Later, Dave. You know,
Like, get out of here. What are you doing? That's not even yours. Oh, she's taking it for you.
No, she's not taking it now.
I just had taken some actually for,
I guess
like right before
what are Berrigan Tracy?
Yeah. Oh, so you were taking it anyway? So you were
I
all,
had-
you were all set.
I'm ahead. I'm ahead of the pack.
You're like, bring it up. I'll get a
I've been
television.
exposing myself. I've been exposing myself to every year for a few years. That's part of my.
Did you get the annual flu shot?
You should be able to. They just been mixing it with my cat shots for the last 2 years. Anthrax, smallpox. Don't worry about it.
I like the weird Great.
I'm I kind of am. I kind of would like to go watch the football games.
I'd love that.
To find out what
Every time, like 16, 19.
We'll try to see.
We stayed in a hotel room, we had all the furniture.
Drum it up there. Yeah, try to ratchet it up.
And all the beds were like.
I'll see you either in a minute or 3 feet from the highway. All right.
Like Gary.
So you're keeping water like. I have a little web browser from my cell phone.
I love you. Oh, I did too.
Okay. I met them at that.
I mean, I have it
I think they're running.
I grew up with not very much like him.
Take care of that.
Are you about to go out?
You guys, some of this meeting on Friday, they're really great. Yeah, see, he was very consistent as usual. I I thought it had already gone. No. My treats have got one.
I'm looking now.
Well,
Just so that I know.
I am second We don't like that. That's gross.
She's a girl.
And then the person fucked up. No, but I was gonna say, she got one. Fire. Yeah. Doesn't work.
You're like, I'm fire. I'm red.
Not so much. Yeah, not so much.
You have clear memories of everything that happened.
I'm not hurting myself.
Yours is not hard.
Mine was about a legal class. It's not.
Yeah, I took that. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's more like sort of. I was basically a tricolor. Yeah, I was.
While you're like throwing steaks to the dog.
That's right.
What if you feed the dog a little something?
I heard that saying in my head, but
The lamb was all over the
disgusting.
Right.
There's Oscar.
Wow.
The rat.
The dog.
Yeah.
Some partners. Ryan there? My Rams told, but I'm not. Oh, no! Tracy, no, I thought the sheep was like, we didn't have your coat the whole time.
Somebody was wearing
Because I put it up, Cyrus was trying to put the entire ram in his mouth. That wasn't us, and we did not give it.
Oh, did he?
We didn't figure it
You guys didn't because you guys are you were not.
You know, one year I went into Cruella and I brought a little Dalmatian, and that Dalmatian.
And then the dog, like,
Out. Just like orange by the end of the night, it was like they were eating it.
Come on, you really, it's a toy. The camera told me to do it, I mean, you know, I know I was in the
We
house.
should get going.
no, you're not, we're coming.
No, but she says, and now I've been kind of expanding.
That would make sense.
Because I've been a little
Lafayette, right?
Crosby, actually.
And then,
Food at Bleecker Bar.
hurry up, you're saying,
Okay, maybe we can get a corn dog on the way.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think we are?
It's every Sunday, so
Bleecker Bar? On Crosby and Bleecker. What? Yeah.
Definitely go back.
Okay. Two booths? No.
Near
No, two booths is across the Bowery, and this is on Broadway. And right, yeah. It's past. It's almost to the Bowery. Last corner, no, Bleecker Bar. Last corner Bowery.
Hurry up, do it, any place.
No, it's not.
Oh, you're right. It's last corner. Lafayette. It's on Crosby, which is what I keep saying. People want fine. Finally, I became convinced they might have been right. And they were wrong.
How was that? Lost the ball soon?
Hurry up.
I always kind of hurry up with my very.
Did you have a little fat hangover the next day?
Oh my god. It was pretty.
Yeah, it was real big.